Welcome to this video. Today we will talk about Windows Update v4, its history, development, its new features, evolution during life, its shutdown, its comeback and great boom. Let's get started. Windows Update v4 was created in 2001 by Microsoft as the version that replaces and will end the classic Windows Update version 3.1 with a completely changed design and operation. As the version that would replace and end the classic Windows Update version 3.1 used since v2 with IE4 with a completely changed design and operation. The first appearance of Windows Update v4 appears in Beta 2 of Windows Whistler with a paler design than that of the final version. The final release will be made in August 2001, after the RTM release of Windows XP, being the first time that this version is completely available to the public and not just developers. Windows Update v4 brought many features compared to its classic predecessors, such as an operation leaving the obsolete bitmap inventory system, with a system that works through the classic ASP, and a database on the server side instead of files, reducing the loading time and the use of resources of the computers of the time, as well as that of dial-up and low-speed connections. On the other hand, perhaps the most memorable thing about this version of Windows Update is that the catalog is integrated with the main website, so much so that it can be enabled in its customization. The catalog already came in version 3.1 but was little known. The Windows Update v4 catalog came with the possibility of downloading updates for all systems through a search system, where the operating system, the type of update, its date, its language, and the terms contained in the update were filtered. It is also the first version of the catalog to add support for drivers. And don't forget that it would leave the classic design to move to a moon design inspired by Windows XP, including its logos and arrows, which were also used in its successors v5 and v6, except that this version is completely blue and its successors are gray. Windows Update v4 not only brought the new features of the previous section, being a long-lived version, being the third longest only behind v6 and v3x, lasting a total of 10 active years, it would improve over time. At its launch, Windows Update v4 only supports Windows XP RTM, although Critical Update Notification Tool version 4.0 is launched based on the back end of this new version for Windows 98 and 2000 in the first months of its life. In February 2002, Microsoft would begin to provide full support for Windows 2000 in all its service packs. On the other hand, in August 2002, the third service pack for Windows 2000 would be released, and a month later, the first service pack for Windows XP. These service packs would bring automatic updates for NT-based systems for the first time, bringing support for drivers for the first time. After this, Software Update Services SUS would be created, which would be the precursor to WSUS. Along with this came a small update that would provide support for the automatic update client to Windows XP RTM and 2000 SP2, discontinuing the Critical Update Notification Tool, being reduced to just Windows 98. Later in November 2002, Microsoft added support for the Windows Update v4 site for Windows 98 and ME, the last Windows update to support 9X-based systems. In this way, Critical Update Notification Tool 4.0 would work for Windows 98, and Windows ME automatic updates adapt to Windows Update v4 inventories through an update. Although it was replaced by Windows Update v5 in August 2004 with the release of Windows XP SP2, Windows Update v4 remained in operation for 7 more years, but from this point on there would no longer be new functionality for the Windows Update v4 site, moving into an extended support phase. Between the release of Windows XP SP2 and the release of Windows Vista in November 2006, the catalog would receive updates for Windows XP SP2 and Server 2003 SP1, although these use Windows Update v5 and later, being completely replaced by the current catalog v7 in November 2006. On the other hand, Windows Update v4 continued to provide updates for Windows 98 and ME until July 2006 due to its incompatibility with later versions. After this date, Updates for Windows XP SP2 and 2000 SP4 continue to arrive until July 2010, since Internet Explorer 5.01 does not support Windows Update v5 or later. The agony would arrive on July 13, 2010, since on this date the last security updates for Windows 2000 would be released in the catalog, being completely abandoned by Microsoft and functioning for just over a year in this state. At some point in August 2011, rather between August 19 and 23, the Windows Update version 3.1 and v4 servers were permanently shut down, adding a redirection to Windows Update v6. And I say unexpected because Microsoft never previously warned about this event, unlike when they blocked Windows Update for Windows Vista and earlier due to SHA-2 incompatibility on August 3, 2020, for example. With this, not only the sites would be inoperative, but also the automatic update service, the catalog, and the critical update notification tool. After 12 years without operation, in August 2023, Windows Update v4 would return as Windows Update Restored v4, project created by Captain Taro 6, as a public solution to update Windows 2000 RTM, SP1 and SP2, Windows 98 and ME, a project for archival, educational and testing purposes that does not intend to use these operating systems as a daily driver. Although the site is not at the level before its 2011 outage, at least 60% of the site has been restored, having compatibility with all compatible systems, updates in English, Spanish and French, as well as Critical Update Notification Tool 4.0 in Windows 98 and 2000, automatic updates in Windows ME, and of course the catalog. We still need to add compatibility for other languages in terms of Windows 9X updates, especially, and support for drivers, but the site is completely usable. Windows Update v4 was very revolutionary and important at its time, but unfortunately it died out after a decade of life. But thanks to the efforts of Captain Taro 6 for creating a legendary MSFN topic, TechAtom for creating the main Windows Update Restored and Inventory site, Ward 201185 for patches and automatic updates, and mine for bug fixes, classic ASP and JavaScript. Today I use Windows Update v4 to update my Windows 9X and 2000 virtual machines on VMware. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please like and subscribe for more content.